Gardener and Carpenter. What a great book by Alison Gopnik. She was talking about when we're nurturing children, when we're raising our kids, do we want to do we want to create or enable a gardener or a carpenter? Now, it's a bit crude. I get that. I mean, carpenters are great. Some of my best friends are carpenters, and I actually do a lot of carpenting. It's a great pastime. But think about, what is a carpenter doing? They're following directions. They have plans. They have to have a big toolbox, right? They have a big tool bag, right? So they can do lots of things. But they're basically following directions. They're not making a lot of decisions. So they're listening to the coach. Coach tells them to do this, they become automatons, so to speak. Or if then else. One of my favorite useless statements is, we try to make a mathematical concept to help the children learn better. But what we do is we basically have taken away their decision making. Okay, if this happens, then you do that. If it not, then you do something else. That becomes a mathematical formula. But where's my decision making? I need to be a lot more complex. We'll get into a whole lot of that stuff and how we can handle that. But at the end of the day, you have to decide, are you a coach who is creating carpenters or gardeners? Now let me explain the gardener. So as a gardener, you're creating the environment. You're not looking at the outcome. The carpenter is very focused on the outcome. And that's where a lot of carpenters, we fix things, right? We want to build things. Men, we want to do that. A lot of coaches, whether women or men, they like to fix things, okay? We want to fix kids. That's going to get you all messed up. What you want to do is you want to nurture them. So what we're doing is we're creating a gardening concept, okay? So I'm going to set the soil, I'm going to level it out, I'm going to get the right aeration, I'm going to get the right nitrogen, blah, 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 all these things that my wife knows about that I don't really much pay attention. We set up that environment. And then our focus is on allowing life to blossom in its own way. And that's the key, in its own way. So when in doubt, what we want you to do is to figure out what is needed. Meet that child where they're at. What is needed? When you're a gardener, you look at it and you go, looks like it needs water, or maybe I've got too much water, or I need to get some fertilizer, or whatever it may be. When I'm looking at a child, I'm going to say, well, maybe the social side is maybe they're just socially behind, or maybe they're not quite figuring out what's going on, or more likely, physically, they're just struggling with something. These are the things that we want to help them with, okay? So what we do is we look and see what they need, physically, socially, mentally, emotionally, and we provide it. Because our job is to provide them to nurture and grow and be successful. Our job is not to tell them how to be successful, per se. Our job is to be flexible and meet them where they're at so they can be successful. That's what revolutionized coaching is all about.